testing UTVs because there's been a few safety issues around ATVs. All-terrain vehicles or quad bikes are the biggest killer on Australian farms. So as a result, people are looking for an alternative, something that will carry more load, more passengers and do it safely. So there's been demand from the membership to have a look at UTVs, and that's what we're doing here at Dowerin.
So, with machines, there's lots of things that we need to look at. Some are subjective and some are things that we can actually measure. So noise is one of those. We use a decibel meter, and at a certain set speed we'll test the noise at the operator's ear for each machine. We can do some pretty simple tests, just like 0 to 100 metres and test the acceleration by how quick the machines get there. And another one that we've been doing for the first time on this test is actually measuring the vibration experienced by the operator over a series of obstacles. And what we use is actually little vibration logger. You're designed to actually sit on that, and it measures the acceleration that you're experiencing in the vertical direction and logs it to a computer, and we get a result out of that that enables us to compare one machine to the other. For the farming community, we're really focusing on service access. So if you can get your hands on the oil filter, the air filter. We look at things like underbody protection. So if you're going to drive over a rock or a stump in the paddock, is there going to be a guard underneath the machine stopping that from tearing a piece of the drivetrain out? Other things like trap points for moisture, dirt, construction quality, even simple things like the battery, because if you've got a flat battery in one of these, you're probably going to have to jump start it.
Definitely people who have had ATVs in the past are now looking at UTVs. They might be looking at them as a combination, so they'll use ATVs for livestock work, for example, still, but they'll be looking at these UTVs for things like fencing, spot spraying. The ability to carry more load over an ATV is what really sets them apart.
Stock work and fencing is probably where it'd come in. Just even like a bit more mobile than say a ute, and a bit more stable than a four-wheel motorbike for shifting stock out in the paddock, and fencing and doing all those little jobs around the farm where they've got the tray, which is pretty useful when you just chuck stuff in the back and away you go.
Look, I think the performance of some of the newer diesel models is actually quite surprising. We looked at these a few years ago, and diesels tended to be quite sluggish and slow. They all seem to be 10 or 15 k's faster this year.
And that's the way the group works. If we can't access equipment through manufacturers, we'll source it either way, because at the end of the day, farmers who are our members, they want to know what's going on and how gear compares. So we put together tables of data, measurements and specifications, and we tabulate those in Farming Ahead, in an easy to read format, so hopefully farmers can look down the list for the qualities of a UTV that's important to them, and see what's going to be the most important thing on their farm, and work out which UTV is going to be the most applicable for their operation.